It's time for me to give you guys a really super important lesson on how to focus with your GH4. Now, on traditional DSLR cameras, we have an optical viewfinder. It allows us to look through the lens in real time, and the focusing systems tend to be a little bit more precise. We can move our focus squares around and determine where the camera is focusing, and we don't have that on the GH4 because this is all electronic. The viewfinder is electronic. The monitor on the back is also touch sensitive. So there is a good workaround to being able to change your focusing squares quickly. The first thing I want you guys to do to set this up right is to go into your menu and go to Auto Review. It is on your Custom Setup tab, page number 6. I want you to turn your Auto Review to off because when you're shooting, you just want to kind of focus and not see this automatic playback. The second thing I want you guys to do is to set your camera to the shutter priority mode using a shutter speed between 1/500th of a second to 1/1000th of a second. My ISO is typically between 100 and 400 when I'm shooting sports. The tricky part on this is the focusing mode that you select and how you hold the camera. If you go into your focusing modes, it's the FN3 button, you're going to select the one area. I've tried every focusing mode. This is the only one that really works great for sports. You're definitely going to want to set your drive dial for the burst icon. This is going to allow the camera to take several images while you hold the shutter button all the way down. And something that I would recommend is once you get the camera set up in the exact way that I told you, register it under your custom one setting. That way you don't have to set it up every time you do sports shooting. And the next thing I want you to do is to take your index finger on your left hand and your middle finger and rest the lens between those two. This is how you're gonna hold it. It's a light camera, it's not hard to hold this way. With your right hand, hold it as you normally would. And what this is going to do is give you thumb access to the monitor so you can touch on the monitor very quickly and change your focusing squares. All you need to do is touch, push the shutter button halfway down, get a focus lock, and then when you're ready to take the picture, push it down all the way. An important note about the focus modes that you're using. AFS stands for autofocus single. The camera thinks the subject is not going to move and it's going to try to get a focus lock. Same thing with AFF is it gives the camera some flexibility if the subject might move. When you're on this mode, you are shooting at 12 frames per second. The truth of the matter is that when you have a fast moving subject, something that's moving quickly, the camera loses focus and a lot of your shots are going to be blurry. What I would recommend is using the AFC, which stands for autofocus continuous focus. And this is a predictive focus mode. The camera is going to try to guess where your subject is. The downside of this is it's only 7 frames per second, but the good thing about it is that most of your shots are going to be in focus. So AFS, autofocus single, 12 frames per second, not really great for moving subjects. AFC, autofocus continuous, 7 frames per second, really good for fast moving subjects. Now we also have a super high burst mode in our menu. The thing about this is that it is an electronic shutter. It's going to give you 40 frames per second, super fast. The problem is they're very small images. Small JPEGs, about 4 megapixels. It would actually probably be better to shoot it in 4K and grab stills from the footage because that's 8 megapixels versus 4. So there may be a time and place where it's useful, not great for high resolution images. In any event, that is how to shoot sports with your GH4. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. If you found this video helpful, you might want to check out my Panasonic GH4 crash course. I'll teach you the basics and help you shoot like a pro in no time. You can order it from the following link.